Welcome, friends, in a one-day workshop on a network technology. Myself, Shrikant Patil. I hope you enjoyed a first session of introduction to the network and what are the types of network, what are the challenges in network, and how do we use the network technologies. So, in this second session, we are going to see what are the career opportunities, uh, where exactly the networking jobs are created, how do we achieve those jobs, all those things we are going to see today. So let's begin with the session 2, that is the career in computer networking, or we can just simply say networking only. So as you can see, as you know, like what are the network in a day-to-day life, also we do use network, as I said in a last session as well. Like whenever you are using internet, which means you are a part of a network, right? So every day in a daily life we are using a networking. So same way, if you are interested, if you want to take interest in this networking, and of course when you make your hobby as a profession, there is some impact on this. I mean, in a positive way, there is some impact. So let's begin with the career opportunities and career in computer networking. So as you can see here, so in this So in this session, or on the slide, you can see there are some career opportunities, that is IT sector where I belong right now. So in IT sector, there are thousands of jobs for network engineers. So just imagine any kind of project, or any software, hardware, or any project in the IT industry, they must have the computers, right? Wherever the computers are, there should be a need of the engineer or network engineer. Just because, see, if there are computers, they must communicate with the internet, they must communicate with each other. So that's what network engineer required. Because I'm not saying there are less opportunities for the other sectors like the software or the database. No, I'm not saying like that. There are parallel opportunities for that as well. But if you can see in the IT sector, there is some advance, or there is some weightage to the network field, just because that is a very critical field for any engineer. And why it is critical? Just because if you have individual laptop, or if you have individual desktop, and that particular desktop is connected to the internet, right, we cannot lose that connectivity. If you break that connectivity, then we may have some loss, right? So for example, just imagine you are using Google Pay service, right? Or if you are using any of the online service like Paytm, Google Pay, or any of the online services. What happens when that particular Google Pay service or YouTube service, it went down? So how it went down? Just because there are some URLs or the website like coxit.org or the google.com. These are the URLs, right? So those URLs are somehow hosted in some network, or in a some particular server. So all the data, it's stored in one of the server, right? So how exactly it's stored in the one of the server? So it stored in that particular server. Just a sec. So in that particular server, those all data is stored in the server. What happens when that server broke down, like power went off, or someone just disconnected that server? So right, so we don't want it, because millions of users are using google.com or Google Pay service, right? So Google cannot afford to lose that server. So that's what there is a network person required to maintain that connectivity with the world. So Google or any of the website, any of the company do not want their service should be disconnected from the people, because these services are used to access. This is for public, right? But there is no use if public cannot access it, right? So that's what connectivity in between server or the particular website and the person who is accessing, that is necessary. So what exactly network person do? he will monitor. He is trying to maintain the connectivity in between the website and the person, the end user, we can say it, right? So that's what. Like we can take another example like Facebook. I remember before few months, Facebook service went off. You I also was one of the user. I was not able to access Facebook for 30 or 45 minutes, right? So that is the huge loss of Facebook, huge loss to the Facebook. For how come? Because 45 minutes or 1 hour they cannot advertise their ads, right? So that is the loss to the Facebook. And Facebook, where they hosted, there are some servers, right? I hope you know what is server. So there are some servers. Those servers are connected to the internet, and via internet we are accessing that server. So somehow that server is not reachable to that particular internet service. So that's what we were unable to access that server. So here is the network person or the network engineer required. So how network person do is he can maintain the connectivity. So same way in IT sector there are thousands of jobs for network engineer. Wherever is the computer, wherever is the system, there should be need and a computer engineer or the network engineer person. So IT sector one of the field where the most of the jobs are created. And there are, it's not just jobs, high paid salaries. Like if you are qualified, if you are certified, you'll get a very good package, you'll get a very good salary, right? So IT sector one of the biggest sector where you'd get the job in a networking field. Second is the banking sector. So of course, as I said multiple times, like if you have a computer, if you have a system at home as well, or anywhere, so there should be a need of the network person. Why? Because in a banking sector as well, there are multiple systems, computers are connected to the internet, and this is very critical, right? So we need to maintain the connectivity, not just the connectivity. We need to secure the computer network. Why? Just because suppose you have some money in your account and you don't want to lose it, right? So just one click, boom, all money gone. So these things may happen. So this should not happen. To protect your money, there are some engineers, they are taking care. So nobody can access your account, nobody can access the bank accounts, and nobody can steal your money. So this kind of security is also required. So in a banking sector also, network engineers, security engineers, those are required. Okay. So in a banking sector as well, there are numerous jobs. ISP. What is ISP? You know, right? So ISP is the internet service provider. Whoever is serving or whoever is giving you the facility of accessing internet, he is your ISP. Like Geo is you are using internet using Geo SIM, which means Geo is your ISP. So in a ISP field also there is a numerous jobs. Like ISPs, you can consider ISP is your home. It's a network engineer's home, because internet is a network's job. Like without network, internet not possible, and without internet, this world would stop it, right? So ISP, there must require the network engineers to maintain the connectivity. Then ethical hacker. What is ethical hacker? Like suppose I know, or most of you know, there are some attacks which was performed on the police, Mumbai police accounts, and they stole around 40 lakhs or 50 lakhs rupees. And Mumbai police or any of the police are unable to trace where exactly that money gone. So nobody knows, but 50 lakhs is not a small amount, right? So for us, for me, 1,000 rupees is also a big amount, but I don't want to lose that in a easy way. Like if I'm buying something, if I buy some products or anything, that would be fine, right? But you cannot just you cannot let them stole, or you cannot just give it away the 1,000 rupees, right? So how exactly we do prevent those attacks, and that is the part of the network. But sometimes there are some cases like someone hacked your website, someone posted any comments or like that, but we need to find it out. We need to know what exactly happened to your account or the bank account or anything, where that so government required same mind same mind to hack something or to check something. So that's what ethical hacker. So these are the authorized ethical hackers. Like for example, like the recent case, let's suppose one of the person in a newspaper, you must have read some of the some in a murder cases. He Two friends were sitting together and one friend killed another, and nobody knows who killed that person. So the particular police branch, they reached one of the ethical hacker who is certified hacker. He hacked some of the friends account. He gathered some information and they find it out. So those are some hackers. Those are allowed from the government or the respective authorities to hack something. Or the other example is, suppose I established one of the company, and I want to know whether my computer network, whether my network, is it good capable or it is good, so nobody can hack it. Or in the bank, suppose one of the bank, let's take SBI's example. So this is the SBI bank, and we established that SBI bank network. But how do we know that our bank network is a secure? And we need to ensure that our bank accounts and the bank servers are secure. So what we do is we call one of the ethical hackers. So vulnerability test. Vulnerability means weaknesses. So what exactly that ethical hacker do? He will try to attack the particular bank accounts using his equipment. So if he get the access of the account, so he would inform, okay sir, these are the things that you need to work upon. So these are the vulnerable things in your bank servers, so this needs to be fixed. So in that way, so penetrate trace testing, which you can say. So the hacker would gain the access. He's trying to break your network. Once he get access, so he would inform the authorities like, okay sir, these are the things, this you need to fix. So this is the vulnerable things, these are the weak things, so anybody can hack your account. So how we can fix that particular account security? So we can improve this security by using the ethical hacker. Then I hope you got the idea about ethical hacker. So next is the your own business. Yes, of course. So if you quite confident about the networking, and you know how these things fixed, so you can start your own business. You can be a service provider. You can be a ISP, and like there are some local ISPs, right? So same way you can be a ISP. You can start your own business. And there is some simple business, right. You must have read somewhere like hardware and networking, like that way. So you can start your own business. Hardware is also one of the good thing to learn, uh, or to start your business. I remember I'll give you one example, and the true incident. In a long back, one of my friend, he opened his shop, like hardware shop, and I was there. So one person came in, and there is some issue with his CPU. So what he did, that particular person said, my CPU is not working. So my friend did check. He opened the CPU. He checked. He said, "Oh, there is some cables broke down. We need to fix it out, and hardware also is not in a good condition." So that particular person, he panicked and he said, "Do whatever you want to do. I have very important data in my hard disk, so anyhow I need to recover it." So my friend said, "Okay, I'll give it a try, but I'm not sure whether it would work or not." So that person said, uh, "Don't worry about the money, whatever it may be, but I need to fix it in at any cost." So my friend said, "Okay, commit on after 2 days," and that person and gave his laptop, so desktop or the CPU, and he just went. So after that, six, sorry. Then, in a 5 minutes, my friend said, "Okay, this is the hard disk, and this is just loose connection, nothing else." So what he did, he just pushed his cable, that particular cable, into the hard disk, and done. It was just 2 minutes job, and he charged around 1,000 something around rupees from that person. So anybody can ask you to give such an amount, but if you learn that hardware things, what is hard disk, what is this RAM, what are the monitors, how it is connected, so you don't need to waste your money. You can repair your system at your home, and same way you can start your own business. Then cyber security and forensics. So as I said, like ethical hacker, in same way the cyber security, cyber, which means a web, which means the internet. So if you are using your internet securely, if you have a company SBI, as I said, or the any of the company, they need some security engineers so they can ensure that our network is a secure way. So you have read some news about the coronavirus, right? So the other countries, like whatever the other countries, they are trying to steal a formula from the developed countries, like USA. Like he claimed that China is trying to stole their formulas from whatever they're doing it. So in that way, that Oxford is the company, they're developing the vaccine. So if Oxford is making ensure, if they make ensure, like, okay, we are very secure, nobody can hack into our network. So they need a cyber security persons. They need cyber security person, which means also a part of a network also, as well. But cyber security, there is some specialty in between. So how to prevent attacks, how we can ensure that our network is ready, all, and nobody can access unauthorized access. I am saying unauthorized, which means without a permission. So any person need a permission to access into the network. So cyber security is one of the job field where you would get the opportunities. And forensics, it means, suppose there is some incident happened, right, and police need, and there is a burned hard disk. So we need to record the data from that burned hard disk. So that is the job of the forensic, or the any one of the CD, which is uh, we can say it, we cannot retrieve data from the CD or pen drive or any of the things. So that forensics teams, they do this kind of jobs. They recover the data, they find it out what happens, or every small details they do find it out from the small equipments, from the cyber finance. So also in the like in the defense, like a navy or army, I believe there are some job opportunities as well. But they do have some their criteria that you need to find it out. But I know there are some criteria, and you may find it job. And as I said, like where is a computer, there is a need an engineer. So to, because there are some such a people, they do not know how to operate, or they do not know how to access it. And if something broke down, if something is not working, so someone need to fix it, right? So this is not a system like you just keep it away and it will recover himself automatically. No, we need to fix it. So there is, wherever the computer, there is a need an engineer. So I hope you now know what are the career opportunities. Believe me, there are thousands of job opportunities in the networking. So this is how network is divided into. So there are some parts, like network is a field. There are number of partitions in the network. There are number of partitions in the network. Even I am also unaware about it, how many parts in it. I mean, there are multiple parts of network, but as per my understanding, I'm just trying to explain you what are the things in the network, or the how do we define it, like that, right? So this is not the exact way as you are seeing on the screen. This is the not exact way this is divided. This is as per my understanding, and I tried to simplify it. Okay, so simply, this is a network. This is divided into multiple parts, but I'm just taking the four parts as per my understanding. This is the core network. Windows actually a separate entity, but we can consider as a part of a network because there are some things that we need to check it out. What exactly needs to be checked and how do we check it? So Windows is one of the part. Linux, or some may call it as Linux, this is one of the operating system. This is one of the different server. So just a sec, it's okay. So this is one of the separate part. Linux same way where Windows operating system is, same way Linux is the operating system, and the hardware part we'll come to this later. So in a core networking there are some parts like data and security and voice, wireless, cloud technology, and the virtualization technology. What is data security and voice? Data security and voice, first we will see the data. In a company, in an organization, if you are doing some of the project, like in a USA there is some insurance company, and the insurance company have some data about their clients, like who is your patient, what is the name of patient, what is the date of birth of that particular patient, or every data they have maintained it. So that data we store it in our database, like they are sitting in the USA and we are sitting at India or Pune, and we maintain their data. So the security of that particular data, that is the responsibility of the network. In India we can easily say, not the girls but the boys at least, they do say, uh, they do often discuss about their date of birth, like this is my xyz, this is my date of birth. And even you can find it out on the Facebook as well. They mention their complete date of birth, right? So in other countries like USA, they do not mention their date of birth. Date of birth is one of the security password they are maintaining it. Nobody share their exact date of birth until their relatives. To the unknown person, they do not share the date of birth. So all those things we need to secure from India. We need to secure their data. So that is the part of the data. Okay, this particular database, like, and the data in the other way, like the communication. For example, we are some of the person, they are sitting at the one site and their home, and the other person sitting at the remote site or the office, they are connected. For example, if I'm sitting in a cockpit and I'm trying to communicate in the Pune, so that maintain the connectivity in between Pune to cockpit, that is the part of also data, the communication. Security, as I said, there nobody should access your data without your permission. So that part of a security. And voice, like there is a different this is a different technology like voice. So like as you say, as you know, like in a call centers or the any of these centers, there must be need to communicate in between persons, like as I said, call centers or the service desk or the help desk, everywhere they need a voice support. So if I can call the the help desk center and I have some queries, they do respond, like, right? So these kind of facilities, these kind of things to provide, there is a need to a voice network. We need to establish a voice network. So there is a need of voice engineers. There are some special technologies to maintain this kind of things. So this is R&S. What is this R&S? This is the routing and switching. This is the backbone of networking. Routing and switching. Routing, which means route. Route is routing, it is a route, and route means road. We need to define, this is the path, this is the road where you have to communicate. That is a part of routing. Or the route, there is one device called as the router. I will show you, I will explain you in the next session, like what is the router, how do we use it, and other stuff, right? So that we will see in the next session. And switching also a part of a network. Suppose if you are in a lab and you need to connect 50 systems to connect in a same network. So you just connect into the switch. Switch is having multiple ports. Port, which means where you connect. So there you can connect the multiple systems or computers in a single switch. So there are some courses into that as well. So routing and switching. Firewall is a interesting device. This is also a hardware device. Firewall. So if you have if you are in a box, then you must have seen the cyber room, or whenever you need to access internet, then you have to give your username and password, right? That is the prevention to access the unauthorized access. The unauthorized access, you can prevent it. So firewall is one of the device. There are number of firewall companies, vendors, like you must have heard about the Cisco, Checkpoint, Palo Alto, FortiGate, CyberRoam. These are the firewall companies. They do develop their firewalls. That's the hardware device. Some of them come in the software as well. That we will see in the next session. So firewall is one of the device. This is LB. LB means load balancer. What is load balancer? So in a deep session, we'll see in the next session. But load balancer, as the name suggests, load balancer. Whatever the load we are giving in, so we can divide into the load balancer. For example, I'll give you a very high-end example. Suppose you are asking me multiple questions, right? If I'm a single person, of course I'm a human. I can't answer to all of them, right? Or all of you. So what I'll do, I'll ask Kailas Yadav sir to sit with me, and I'll ask him to answer the questions whatever the students are asking, or the any person are ask in person is asking. So I'll ask him, please, some of the questions please you answer it, some of the questions I'll answer it. So whatever the requests are coming in, I'm dividing into two, right? So in this way we can divide, we can in a network, excuse me. So in the same way, in a network part, if suppose only one server is trying to communicate with the internet, or the users are trying to access proxy.org.in, so we can divide the request into two servers. So that is the part of load balancing. So proxy and IPS and the IDS devices, those are the part of the security, core security devices. To IPS is a intrusion prevention system, or IDS is intrusion detection system. So in that way, we do prevent the unauthorized access. These are the core security devices, but those are the part of a network. Again, wireless is the also part of the network. So in a wireless, most of us say, sir, we know what is wireless. We have wireless at our home and we do configure it. That is the different part. That is a very small part of a wireless, small or negligible part of a wireless. There are some special devices like access point, and we can manage thousands of the users using the wireless. And there are some special certifications that will come in the next slide. What are the certifications and how to achieve it? Those are in the next session. So wireless is also is a part of a network and having the good opportunity in the career. And cloud. Everybody knows what is cloud. No, that is not a cloud which we are thinking right now, just above or just in the sky. No, that is not a cloud. Cloud is the separate entity. Right now, this is in a market highly demanding technology, that is cloud. So what is cloud? Cloud is the virtual system. Like right now, suppose I have some data at my or any of the server, right? Physical server. Physical means actually we can touch that server. So we have one particular server, and which is placed in one of the servers. So if I want to get some data from that server, I need to go to that particular server. Server cannot work, right? So what I need to do is I need to visit server, I need to attach pen drive or anything, and I need to retrieve the data. But what is cloud? Like Google Drive. You most of heard about the Google and Google Drive. So if you have uploaded something into Google Drive, you can access your data wherever you are. There is no restriction at your physical location. You are at home, you are at college, or any other cities, wherever you are. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can access your data. And there are some vendors. Vendors means the company owner. So there are some cloud technologies; those are very highly demanding. That is the Azure is the one of the cloud, AWS, that is the Amazon cloud. Third one is the Google cloud. Third one is the Google cloud and IBM cloud. Those are the some cloud things or the cloud vendors. So each and every Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. I'm just taking the top ones. There are multiple vendors as well, and those are the vendors. They do provide their own certifications, and the virtualization which means there are some servers, right? Suppose you want to buy 10 servers but you don't have money, so what you can do is you just buy a one server and you can divide that server into 10 servers. Yes, you can do that virtually. There is no physical boxes, those are virtual boxes. We can access it as a physical, but we cannot touch it. Those are inside the servers. So that is the virtualization, and there are some this is also highly demanding in the market. That is the and this is Microsoft is the virtualization vendor. VMware, Citrix, Google, Amazon. Those are some vendors. They do provide virtualization. So I hope you got the idea what are the types of the network, and it's all about your interest, where you want to go. Do you want to go in a wireless? Yes, you can go it. If a cloud, virtualization, those are the highly demanding technologies in the networking, or the data security and device. Those are also highly demanding in the net in the industry. But just to keep in a mind, suppose some of may say, great sir, one of my friend did something like that, or CCNA he did it, but one of the course he did it, but he's not having the job. So why? Just because whatever you are doing, I'm not saying just do this and don't do this. No, whatever you are doing with your interest, just do it passionately. So if you have some skill, so company can hire you, right? So these are some things like in the network where you want to go. This is all about your interest. So I hope you got the idea. Next, we will see certifications. Like, why do we need certifications? Certification is the process of verifying technical knowledge in a specific area. Like, if I say, okay, I am the boss in a network, but I mean, how can I prove it? So I can show you, like, I do have some certifications. I did this, and I have some knowledge now. So that's what I can prove myself, right? So in a company also, when you are going to join some of the company, they may ask you like, have you done any certifications? Do you know something like that? Do you know these technologies? And if I say yes, they'll show what is the proof. Why do we trust you? So then you can show, okay, sir, these are the certifications which I have completed, and you can trust me. So in that way, and certification have their own weightage. So that is the certification. And once suppose you already have a job, you are in a company, and the company sponsors you. Like, if I want to give one of the exam, if I say to my manager like, sir, I want to do this kind of exam, company will pay my fees. Okay, company will pay my fees. They will not deduct from my salary. They will give it their own, because they do I mean, they want to learn employees, because if employees learning something good, that is the benefit to the company. So, and that is benefit for us as well. Like, if we did the certifications, if I have a job and if I did a certification, then there are some possibilities that I may get some salary increments. If I'm earning 10,000, maybe I'm earning 12,000 from next month, or the promotions. Like, okay, so the company managers or the management think like, okay, these are the things, and you complete these certifications, you are qualified for the promotion. So this is one of the advantage as well to do the certification. Vendor sponsored certifications. Vendor means the company owner. Like, as I said, right, Cisco is the company. Cisco manufactured number of devices like router. They do configure routers. So vendor sponsored certifications, which means Cisco having their own certifications in their network into their devices. Suppose uh, Cisco made one device and nobody knows how to configure it. No use of that device. That's what Cisco device to configure Cisco devices, Cisco introduced some of the courses. If you certified that Cisco product, then you will get the chances to get that particular job. So vendor sponsored means the company having their own certifications, like Microsoft having their own certifications, Cisco is having own certifications, Google is having their own certifications, like that way. So there are some examples like Cisco, Microsoft, AWS. AWS is nothing but Amazon. Palo Alto is one of the firewall company. They do configure other devices, but firewall is one of the popular device. Checkpoint is one of the device, like that way. And each company having their own certifications. So some of the examples, if you can see, Cisco is having their own certifications. These are the entry level certifications, like on a high level view, CCNA, that is the very basic in the entry point. Then CCNP is having the professional. CCI is the highest level of the uh, in the networking. CCI. There is another also. I mean, in the Cisco, there are also architecture level certifications as well. But this is the link I will show. I will share in the Telegram group. These are the links in the Cisco. F5 is the one of the biggest company. Like as I said, load balancer uh, is the one of the device load balancer, and in the F5 they do have their own certifications like F5. And trust me, if you any of the certifications if you did, you would get a chance to access any kind of job. Like in any company, they do ask like, is there any certifications? If you say yes, they'll hire you. So in that way, there are some levels in the F5. Like Checkpoint, this is the firewall. They do have their own certifications. Citrix is the one of the virtualization company, so they do have their own certifications. Palo Alto, Wireshark is the tool where you can see actual packets, like troubleshooting level. Suppose two computers are not able to communicate, right? So how do we find it out? What exactly happened? So Wireshark is the tool. There, Wireshark is having their own certifications, and it is highly demanding. Google Cloud, same as your cloud. Cisco, as I mentioned you earlier, like Cisco is having tremendous, I mean, n number of devices, and they do have own certifications for each device, like data, security, then voice. Each and every aspects they do have their own certifications. Wireless, everything. Uh, Juniper is the one of the same way like a Cisco, but another vendor. They do have their own switches, firewalls, routers, but they have their own certifications. Microsoft Azure, that is the cloud. AWS is the Amazon cloud. That is they also having their own certifications. Uh, Splunk is the one of the monitoring device or the log device, you can say. Suppose if you are not interested in the part of this data switching, routing, or the security, if you want to do a peaceful job, then you can just check with the Splunk. Splunk is the log monitor. If someone asks you, I need some logs 1 month before what the two computers were communicated, so you can find it out from this Splunk. SolarWind is the one of the reliable and very good tool. One of the software. This is the software SolarWind. So suppose I have thousands of devices in my company, and I need to ensure all of the devices should be healthy. They are not down. They are working properly. So I do configure the SolarWind tool. This is also very highly demanding tool in nowadays. So everyone, it is SolarWind also having their own certifications. That is one of the company, and they have developed one software SolarWinds. So if you have thousands of devices, you just configure into that tool, and you can monitor all of them, whether the devices are working properly, whether any of the CPU utilization is high. All those things, even some things, you can monitor from the SolarWinds. So this is how you can use the SolarWind as a career opportunity. It's all about your interest. So I hope you got the idea, like what is the network, part of the network, like what are the basic things in the network. All those things you can check it out, and these are the certifications path you can do it. Okay, I hope you got the idea, and I'm always available. And you, if you have any query, you can ask Kailash Jadhav sir, or you can reach me out. I'll give it my contact details as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you.